Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of Investing and Trading Live. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist. It is about 7:45 in the AM Central Time, about 45 minutes prior to the stock market open. And we are going to do a stock market update today. Today is the 6th of February, Tuesday to be exact. And what we're going to do is a quick overview on what the market did. Well, I guess yesterday we had some bigger moves. Not bigger moves than normal, but just large moves intraday. So we'll discuss that, some of the opportunities that we have moving forward. We will look at our crypto market, since that is a phenomenal market to trade and invest in. Very good there. And then we'll close it out with a little thing at the end. But let's do our stock market update starting out. As we know, there is risk in trading and investing. You can and will lose money at one point in your life. That is strictly for entertainment purposes only, mainly mine. But hopefully you find it entertaining as well. Stock market. All right. SPY. Let's look at your SPY first. Where did my SPY go? Here we go. SPY currently sitting at $492.55. We are looking to gap up slightly today. As of right now, if the market were to open right now, it would open at $493.34, so about 80 cents to the upside. But so today is Tuesday. Yesterday we had a kind of a mixed day, an inside day from Friday's trading session. Thursday and Friday of last week had monster moves to the upside, hitting all-time highs once again with the S&P 500. And yesterday was a mixed day. It gapped a little bit lower, not much, and had some good moves intraday for those intraday traders, but closing to the downside yesterday ever so slightly. But looking to gap up here today. That's your SPY, which is your S&P 500. That's what we typically look at. Before we go any further, I do want to look at the dollar. So the dollar has been getting stronger, which usually leads to stock market declines. But it's been getting strong for a few weeks here now. I mean, several weeks here. And the stock market has been not inversely correlated with that. We have surpassed a couple supply zones with the dollar. So I do like this dollar to continue the upside, but we'll see what happens with the stock market if that does continue. Last 3 days have been pretty good moves to the upside. That was your US dollar. That was the DXY for those that are looking at it. It's the dollar US currency index, US dollar index. Let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, currently closed at 383.58. Same thing as the S&P 500. We are seeming to be gapping up, not as much as the S&P, but just a little bit here today. Looking to gap up about 30 cents, 58 to 88. Now this one here had a little more downside action yesterday with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but that being said, it did on Friday did reach all-time highs and close a little bit lower than the highs. And we just had pretty much a down day on Monday, which was the 5th of February. So this one here just surging to the upside as well. Let's find our NASDAQ, which would be the Qs. They refer to it as the Qs on the old tube. It's your NASDAQ ETF QQQ. So currently closed at 428.45, looking to open up 429.53, so a gap up to the upside. So it looks very similar to the S&P 500. And we had last Thursday and Friday monster moves to the upside after a couple gaps down and downward action. Looks like probably Tuesday, Wednesday of last week. Same thing as the S&P 500, downside action, but closed a little higher than the lows. I guess much higher than lows, but not at all-time highs at all. So that one, looking to see what happens here. We're going to open up right at the all-time high with the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ. All right, we're going to skip the Russell today because that one's just, it's a dog. Let's start with gold. Now, gold per ounce, we're looking right around $2,028. It did get up to over $260 here last week, so nice move to go for gold for the upside. That's that. Let's see if we have silver handy. 22.31 silver, and this is. Am I looking at the ETF? No. 22.31, and this one is also really been seeing a little bit of strength. With that being said, it's still 22. We had highs of much higher quite some time ago, and gold and silver year commodities are yeah, they are what they are. Just like old Dennis Green said, they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, just laugh and say that's funny. All right, Bitcoin 42,851. So Bitcoin today is up 0.45%. On the year, on the 3 months, up 22%. On the month, it's actually down. So Bitcoin, it is what it is. It's been kind of hovering around that 40 to 42, 30 to 45,000 here for quite some time. And I do see that hopefully to the upside as we continue on. Let's look at oil. Oil sitting at, here's crude oil, 73.29. So with crude oil, we had a high of around $79 here about a week and a half ago, and just screaming to the downside after it did reach that high. So crude oil, which is nice because it helps us at the pumps. But that being said, I do see crude oil continuing to the upside. We don't really have any. It started an uptrend. But that being said, if we do surpass or get a little bit lower than about $70 per barrel, we're gonna see that potentially go to the downside as that continues on. So oil is kind of at a pivotal place there. Let's look at a couple stocks here. Let's peek at Tesla. Tesla currently, remember we had that big gap down after earnings last week and a half ago, probably 7 days ago. And continuing just to the downward pressure with Tesla, not looking good. Their whole scheme over there, recalls and all that stuff that's going on with Tesla, just not the best, especially after it hit highs of 260 something bucks per share. So that's Tesla. Let's look at. I want to peek at Target, just because that was a great one for a long time. We had that drop for many months, getting down to around the $100 area. I think it was 110 actually, 104 or something like that, and still continuing to the upside after that major gap up back in November, and still screaming to the upside. Currently at 142.33, looking to see a small gap to the upside as the market opens. 42.57 as we speak on the pre-market. That's Target. Let's go to Apple. Apple is on the NASDAQ. This one here, we had some big moves last week. Really, Friday, a monster move, gapping down on Friday, and had some major downward action after, I think it was bad light sales in China. The earnings were actually good, but their earnings, or their revenue, I think it was in China, was down pretty bigly, showing a lot of selling pressure in the post market on, I believe it was Thursday night, and then gapping down Friday morning, and then shooting straight up. So gapping down, that was almost the low of the day on Friday, getting to higher than it opened up. So positive day on last Friday, but then on Monday, same thing, gapping up, but kind of a indecision or indecisive day for Apple on Monday. That was Apple. What else are we allowed to look at? Let's look at HNT. HNT, as we know, is helium token. Really like HNT, and that's not a stock. We're not going to look at HNT because I can't get that on this particular device that I'm using for my data. So that, my friends, is your stock market of the day. Stock market update of the day. Looks like we're going to see some action probably to the upside as the market opens up. Not a lot, but just a little bit, as my good friend 50 Cent once said. As we mentioned, actually, here we go. S&P 500 is showing a bigger gap now ever since we started the session here, opening at 493.42 as of right now. We got about 34 minutes here until the open, so we will continue to monitor that. We'll do an update on the stock market probably tomorrow morning again on Wednesday, which would be the 7th. So as always, we do like our followers. Make sure to smash and like that follow button, whether you're listening on Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. We do appreciate the Spreaker app-ish listeners. That's Spreaker. A lot of listeners on there. It really helps the algos and push this show to the top. One of these days, we'll be the top financial podcast of the United States. As always, collect your profits when they're given to you and protect your losses, keeping them small. Until next time, retire young, my friends.